Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, California Weather Watch. Today is October 15th, and right now we're looking at the satellite imagery, the infrared satellite imagery. You can see the Hawaiian Islands down here to the bottom left. There's the state of California. Strong frontal system under development here. It's going to move into the Pacific Northwest and impact some portions of Northern California. We'll take a look at some of those precipitation details. If we look down here off the coast of Mexico, we've got another potential tropical cyclone developing here, and this may develop into a hurricane as well and move up towards Baja. And the GFS was showing a little bit of that moisture, trying to move up towards the southwest USA. We'll watch that here come up as well. We'll take a look at the ridge that's going to be building here across some of the southwest, and then we'll look in the extended forecast. Looks like we have some troughing trying to get into some of the California area as well. So we'll dive into that a little bit as we go through the video here today. You can see there is a dense fog advisory out there. You can kind of see that lower level of clouds along the coastline there in towards the Bay Area with some high level clouds moving over the top. You can see that reflected here. The dense fog advisory expected less than a quarter of a mile there through 10 a.m. today. So heads up for that, especially across some of the Bay Area and the coastal regions there. And moderate sneaker wave threat on Sunday. That is today. And watch out up and down the coastline here. It's not a bad idea generally when you're off in the fall and the winter months here. Just kind of have that in the back of your mind. Watch out for those sneaker waves at this time of year. Storm total rain. Not much coming for the Bay Area or Sacramento here, but once you get up towards Redding and Eureka, you might start to get a little bit more. Fort Bragg there, quarter of an inch to a half an inch here. This goes through about Tuesday, 5 a.m. Well above normal temperatures this coming week for Phoenix. Check it out. You got the record temperatures here in white on the bottom. You might be breaking some records on Monday, maybe on Thursday. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, you can see they also put the chance of tying the record here over here. Nice graphic from the National Weather Service. Phoenix, fairly warm conditions out there. This day in SoCal weather history, check it out. 2015, a 6-day stretch of very warm nights brought on by strong high pressure and warm ocean temperatures. Finally wrapping up there in San Diego. You can see these high minimum temperatures, but look at this sea surface temperature anomaly along the west coast there back in 2015 on this day. And also 2018, check out the strong Santa Ana wind event there, 200 trees down, and one person actually killed when a tree fell in a vehicle. It's usually one of the biggest threats there when you get high winds up and down the west coast. Now, taking a look here at Bakersfield, you can see a little bit above average there yesterday, 85 for a high, 56 for a low, no precipitation. This is Palm Springs. Check it out. Actually, technically a little bit below average there yesterday with a high of 89, no precipitation. And Tahoe warmed up a bit. You can see 36 the overnight low last night there, no precipitation as well. This is so far this month of October. You can see the below average conditions for much of the state of California. And except for that warm up they had across some of the coastal areas here, including the Bay Area, it's been a little bit below average here so far this month. And we're going to bounce back a little bit here, though, as we go over the next week or so. We'll take a look at those details come up in a moment. But let's take a look at what the GFS has to say. If we put this into motion, this is a strong frontal system. It's going to bring some rain and impacts to northwest portions of the USA here, and that'll bring some rain for Northern California. Then we build a bit of a ridge here as we go on into the midweek period here coming up. You can see the tropical cyclone developing here down here to our south of Baja there. And then we get this trough trying to swing in here. The cyclone tries to move up over Mexico, maybe towards the southwest USA. We'll watch that closely here because some of this moisture is showing up in some thunderstorm activity, even across some of the desert areas. But then you see we got a trough kind of swinging through here. And if we look far enough out into the GFS, some interesting troughing here approaching the Pacific Northwest, which would include California there. But, we're looking off a little bit too far in Fantasyland just yet. But something interesting to watch here in our future. Now, we're looking at the European last night's run here, 2-meter temperature anomaly. So this is for this time of year. Not an excessive heat wave, but we're not doing too bad here by the time we get on into the midweek portion coming up. So you can see we've got some above average temperatures coming. And what does that mean? Let's look at the daily 2-meter max temperature. You can see this is for today. You're looking up towards 100 there, maybe for Phoenix. Upper 90s for the desert areas. You might get to 103, 104 for Death Valley there. And you can see it's fairly comfortable, but it's a little bit above average here coming for the next few days. You can see a little bump in the temperatures there across Arizona and some of the desert areas. And then you can see Tuesday, Wednesday warming up here. Look at this. Maybe get some 90s back there for the Central Valley, even out for the coastal range here. Pretty warm coming up here midweek showing. And then you can see a few 100-degree days that are likely coming for places like Phoenix, some of the desert areas out there as well. Maybe thermal Friday. A little bit of a cool down there by the time we go towards next week. And then maybe that trough starts to come towards the region. So anyway, A little bit of a warm up coming this week. Looking at the European last night, total precipitation in inches. We put this through. You can see fairly strong frontal system for the Pacific Northwest and some decent totals there for Southwest Oregon, Northwest California here. We're not bringing much rain down towards the Bay Area, though. Been pretty dry here for the last few months here, and this one won't help out too much. But we do have troughs potentially in the future that we're going to be watching. This is looking at the GFS. We're looking at 6-hour precipitation type, and we're looking at sea level pressure here. There's state of California. You got Hawaii to the bottom left there. Put that into motion. You can see that frontal system moving into the Pacific Northwest, hitting Northern California as well. And you can see that tropical storm forming down here south of Tahoe. Look at this interesting atmospheric river also pointed right at Vancouver Island, just kind of stays north of Seattle. But at that time of the year, pretty big atmospheric river moving up towards Pacific Northwest there. And then we've got this tropical system. This would definitely be a hurricane at this point and getting pretty close to Cabo. So if you have Mexico interests here as you're going in through the October 23rd, 22nd, 23rd, 24th timeframe, keep an eye out here. I believe this will actually be Hurricane Max. I think that's the next name up in line here to be used. But you can see there is some thunderstorm activity here across the desert areas. I might try to creep in towards California here, and it would include Arizona. And again, let's back that up a little bit here. And you can kind of see this tropical system actually gets going by the time you get in towards the 20th. It's roaring down there. And by the time you get towards the 21st, 22nd, 23rd. So if you have Mexico interest here and you're going down to take a vacation at Cabo or maybe Puerto Vallarta or Guadalajara, Mazatlan out there, heads up for that. Keep that in the back of your mind and stay tuned here. We'll keep you abreast of the most recent updates here with that system. And then you can see that maybe bringing some thunderstorms up. This would be all the way in through next week. So we're looking at ways off in fantasy land there, but you can see kind of a chilly upper level trough trying to drop down across some of the Pacific Northwest as well. May try to include California. We'll see how that goes as we go on into the extended forecast, something to watch. But you can see the Central Pacific hurricanes that are kind of calling attention to that 20% chance of cyclone formation here in the next 48 hours. And as this goes the next couple of days, this is almost certainly going to increase in the percentages there. And again, I believe that will be named Max. Taking a look here at the European, this is last night's run. 500 millibars, which is about 18,000 feet up in the atmosphere here, because it does a good job of showing a general ridge and trough position. You can see the powerful frontal system up towards the Pacific Northwest. We build a ridge here across a lot of the Southwest and the European, also showing that tropical cyclone development there as well. And then we kind of swing another trough towards the West Coast as we go on through the extended here. So we'll watch this trough interaction with this tropical cyclone here. We'll watch this over the next few days and see if we can get any model agreement there. Then you can see an interesting trough dropping down across Pacific Northwest. Pretty chilly upper level load that one would be, but it's kind of way out in fantasy land. We're looking out towards getting towards the end of October now at that point. So looking at 6 to 10 day precipitation outlook, check it out. We got this below average signal here across, especially across Nevada, Arizona, and Utah, including California. 6 to 10 day temperature outlook. We're going to get a nice warm up here. So we're going to bring those temperatures back up towards normal for a lot of California and Nevada here probably over the next 6 to 10 days. This goes through October 24th. And here's the average max temperature departure. And this goes basically for the beginning part of October. You can see, again, that coastal region here. You can see when we got the warm up there, San Francisco got the 4 straight days of 90-degree temperatures. But a lot of the rest of the state here has been below average a little bit here in a lot of Nevada as well. So anyway, yeah, interesting stuff here. Tropical cyclone development. We'll maintain our view on that over the next few days and see if that has any chance to move over to the Southwest USA. As you guys know, I read those weather history reports there brought by the San Diego National Weather Service, and they talk about some of that thunderstorm activity, and that can still impact us during this time of year. And we'll also watch those troughs off into the extended forecast as well, because, October, storm track gets going here, and especially across the Pacific Northwest, and it can include California at times. And also looking out across the Pacific Ocean here, you can see the ex-typhoon Bolivan out there is now an extratropical low here, moving south of the Aleutian Islands, and that'll eventually move towards the Pacific Northwest there. So something interesting there. We get these typhoons across the Western Pacific that eventually enter the westerlies and can mess with our weather and create interesting storms here along the west coast of North America, especially in the fall. So anyway, yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying these videos. Channel's doing pretty good here so far. And I'm working on a weather station and giveaway here. Once the channel should be up and running here in the next week or so, and then I can probably do a weather station and giveaway for my subscribers here on the California channel. I've done several of these so far this year. But anyway, I hope you guys are enjoying this channel so far. Leave some comments below. I'll do my normal briefing tomorrow, and I will talk to you guys then.